Cheers, everybody. This is Eric. I'm back. Equipment maintenance. Something we don't like to do, but we have to do it. Anyway, that's coming up next. One thing that some of these brew kettles come with these 3-piece ball valves. SS Brewtech comes with them, and these are weldless. So you do want to remove them and clean under and behind this O-ring. Now, as far as disassembling them, I've taken them apart dozens of times, and what I find after I take them apart, they leak. They leak every time. So as long as I hot water rinse them now, I hot water rinse them every time. I've had no problems with them, even taking them apart, disassembling them. So I make sure I hot water rinse my 3-piece ball valves without taking them all apart. They just leak afterwards. And of course, all your fittings, if you're weldless like this is here, 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 here. My heating element is welded. So main thing you want to do is I take my heating element out and clean from behind and inside my heating element, back inside there. As far as the walls, you can see just a little bit of protein build up. Now, if you have a gas burner and you're heating from the bottom, or you're heating with electric from the bottom using thermal energy outside the pot, you're going to see protein build up on the bottom. Whenever you have heating element like this, the protein builds up on the heating element, and we all know what to do there. Trusty dusty PBW every time does the trick for the protein, gets rid of it on all the stainless steel, and it comes out just beautifully clean. I even do my little hop sock here, whatever I want to call it, my little hot basket. Even do it, and it likes temperature about 140 to 160 degrees, and soak it for about 30 minutes, and it will come absolutely clean. This PBW is amazing stuff. I really like it. But as far as the brew kettle is concerned, removing anything that's weldless, remove it. Even if it is welded, you want to remove it and clean behind and all that good stuff. So the O-rings back there, they'll get some proteins build up on the inside of the pot and the outside of the pot. Just want to make sure that scaling is off and cleaned regularly. And I would say every 3 to 4 brews. Take it apart, clean it real good. But I no longer disassemble my 3-piece valves. I don't do it anymore. I just hot water rinse them really good every time. I have a hot water heater here in my garage where I brew, and that's what I do here. Hot water rinse it. And if you have access to hot water, you take it down, and you can take it in the house if you don't have access to hot water, and wash it in the sink. Just make sure you just clean the hot water rinse and get the sticky wart off of brew pumps. I hot water rinse my brew pump every time I brew. Hot water rinse it in and out, forward and backwards, both directions, every single time. It's worth the time to spend on this pump, because this is a very, very key and vital piece of your brewing equipment. Hot water rinse that brew pump, take care of it, because it sure will take care of you. Immersion chiller, same thing, PBW every time. So while you're PBW rinsing your kettle with your PBW inside the pot at 140 to 160 degrees, stick your immersion chiller in. Now, if you have a plate chiller, you need to recirculate it through your plate chiller at the same time. Just make sure you rinse it clean with hot water, the same temperature that you're using the PBW with. You want to pull that PBW off. It is a caustic, so you do want it removed from all of your equipment. But PBW will clean any metal surfaces. It'll strip all them proteins off. I do this the same time I do my brew kettle, and I do my brew kettle about once every 4 to 5 brews. Sometimes I will stretch it a little longer. REMS tube. REMS tube, I'm recirculating through my REMS tube, so there's not a whole lot of chance for protein to build up. Main place it's going to build up is on that heating element inside my REMS tube. So I'll run PBW, circulate it through my REMS tube, same time I'm doing my whole rinse. So it's one go. When I PBW wash and clean, it's all in one go, and it takes me about an hour, and it's all done. So PBW rinse with 140 to 160 degree hot water PBW, and then clean it thoroughly with hot water. Mash tun. I hot water rinse this mash tun after every brew day, and my leftover PBW from my brew kettle I will take and put in my mash tun, and I'll recirculate it and swoosh it around. You can see the discoloration from the grains and the mash, but I do hot water rinse it after every single brew day. And I backwash, just run hot water through my manifold here, and then of course you want to hot water rinse your manifold and all that. And then something don't forget is you want to open and close this ball valve when you're rinsing. You want to clean both sides of that valve. Just make sure water goes back and forth. And if you can get the hotter the better, hotter the water the better every time to clean this equipment. I do remove my bulkhead down here. The same time I do my cleaning. My cleaning is all done in one whack, from brew kettle all the way over everything. Mash tun, hot liquor tank, pumps, everything. When I do my thorough cleaning, I do it all at one time. Save some time. Hot liquor tank. Only thing that hits this hot liquor tank is hot, scalding hot water. That's for my sparge water. So 170 degree water goes in here, clean, filtered water. That's all that ever gets in here. I don't really do a whole lot of cleaning with this. I just do rinsing. Fermenter, the most vital piece of equipment in your brewing equipment. Yes, it has got to be pristine, clean, brand new. No questions, if, ands, or but about it. I always keep 2 gallons of star sand in my fermenter, and I give it a shake every once in a while and let the foam build up to the top. And that foam has that acid in it, and it makes sure there's no bad critters in there that can get in my beer. That's the main thing. You do not want an infected beer that'll ruin your beer, and it won't be good, and you have to pour it out, and that sucks. That's the worst day in a home brewer's life, is having to pour out beer. That sucks. I've done it. I know we've all probably done it. It sucks. I don't want to do it. So keep that guy clean. So what I do after a brew, after I run off and keg, I hot water rinse really good. And if you have that stubborn krausen line that doesn't want to come off, hot water does it. And then I have PBW my fermenters too, but I don't like to do it too often. I'm afraid that I'm going to damage them, but I've had no issues with it. I've PBW'd my fermenters about once every 5-6 brews, and then thoroughly rinse and star sand and let it go. And just make sure on my brew day, when I come to my fermenter, I shake my fermenter up, let the foam build up, I turn it upside down, and I let everything kind of settle, and I dump my star sand in a clean bucket, because I want to see if there's any particulates in that fermenter. If there is, I'll back up and clean it again. So that's kind of one of my little things, because I'm kind of silly about that. I want a super clean fermenter. I want to make sure it's clean every time. Likewise with hoses, same time everything else is being rinsed, I run PBW through it. And before, one thing you will notice, if you soak a silicone hose in star sand, it will break it down. Don't leave it in star sand. It will break it down. So you can soak it for hours, but don't soak it for days. It will break that silicone down. So just be mindful of that. Beer taps. This is your friend right here. BrewHardware.com sells this right here. They sell this in various forms. I have all cam locks, and this goes on the end of my hose, and that's how I hot water rinse all my beer lines and beer taps. So very, very important. You want to have a happy, clean brew house. Happy, clean brew equipment. Very, very important. And most important is your fermenter. You want your fermenter squeaky clean. That I cannot stress enough. And anything that's going to be boiled in boiling water will be sanitized ahead of time. But of course, you want to keep your equipment clean. Very important. Be proud of it. We make beer. We're proud of our beer, and we want to share our beer. So clean equipment, clean fermenters, always. This is Eric. Thanks for watching, and as always, cheers, and we'll see you next time.